Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Raven, who is also Brooke, and today I will be doing a short video as to why I feel like Tubi movies are important to the Black community. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to follow me on all my social media platforms, and remember that this is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Nothing in this video I'm saying is facts, so please don't take it as such, and let's just get right into the video. So Tubi was founded in 2014 by the former CEO, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced his name, but his name is Farhad Masudi, and it was also co-founded by Tom and Hicks. And at this time, Tubi was very different from other streaming platforms because it was an ad-free streaming platform. You didn't have to pay a subscription. You just had to sit through a few ads and then watch whatever movie that you wanted to watch. And in my opinion, this is what drives more and more people to Tubi because there is no subscription. You literally can just sign up and again sit through, to me at least, very like short few ads. Maybe like 6 ads are like 30 seconds to a minute. And also what made them different is that instead of trying to like acquire the big blockbuster successful films, they also tried to get, you know, some cult classics, small films, niche films, especially with TV shows. Also like TV shows that are very popular in its prime but kind of maybe faded away as time went on, or just became very small cult classics in their own right, especially shows from like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And most importantly, they also sought out smaller independent films to help, you know, put a few people on the map. And according to Wired.com, with an article that they just did this year, Tubi has over 250,000 pieces of media on their platform, which is absolutely insane and like well over the amount of, you know, entertainment pieces that other streaming platforms have. And then Vulture.com said back in 2024 that Tubi had over 64 million monthly active users, which again is insane. And then eventually they began to create their own Tubi original TV shows and movies, especially some that was very much catered to Black cinema. Now, how I found out about Tubi in general is because I love the YouTuber Kenny JD, and she started doing like reviews about Tubi movies, and I was like, these are interesting. Like, okay. And then on Twitter, like, and on TikTok and Instagram, like certain scenes of Tubi movies, especially the movies catered toward, you know, Black people, they had a lot of funny scenes that just became memes essentially. And then I recently just started being like a frequent like user of Tubi. At least every day I'm watching at least 2 new Tubi movies because I feel like Tubi just helps feed my soul when I've had a long day, a long week, and I just want to watch something that just escapism, that just lets my mind go to a different place. And you know, it's just very good entertainment, and some of the movies are actually pretty good. Now, the title of this video is going to be why I feel like Tubi is so essential to Black cinema, especially to the Black community, and I'm going to get into my reasons later at the end of the video. But I just wanted to talk about kind of like my top 5 Tubi movies that help, you know, strengthen my argument as to why I feel like, you know, it's so important to the Black community. And the first movie that instantly came to me was the movie If I Can't Have You. And when I say that this movie literally scarred me for life, like this movie literally scarred me for life. Like I left that movie just feeling very taken aback. I low-key had to watch something happy after it because it was actually a very decent movie. I thought that the message of the movie was very important, especially in the Black community. It was a movie about domestic violence, and the ending was very heartbreaking to see. And one criticism that I do have about 2 movies that I don't really like, I don't like when they show like, you know, scenes, and I just hate when they show it because I don't need to see it to understand the context of what's happening. That's like really my only big gripe with Tubi movies. But overall, like I said, it was actually a very good movie considering everything. The quality of it was actually pretty good. Another thing about Tubi movies that they could fix is definitely the sound. Sometimes the sound is a little low, but you know, we always have room to work on that. Another movie that I actually recently watched where I was like, okay, Tubi is actually starting to step up a little bit is a movie called Undying Love. And it was about like a woman who dates like a guy who's like in the drug world. He's trying to like kind of get out of it. But then she reconnects with like a police officer who she used to know in the past. But then at the end of it all, they get caught and like he ends up, you know, her, and then So it again was honestly a pretty solid, decent movie. Like, because most Tubi movies, I'm not gonna lie, my attention span begins to leave myself sometimes, especially when the plot just isn't plotting. Because some Tubi movies are very good at the beginning and the middle, but in the end, it kind of loses its steam, but it's still pretty good. So, you know, what can you say? And also in the movie Undying Love, again, the quality was up, the acting was actually really decent. And also, Tubi, like, why are a lot of Tubi movies like set in Detroit or Charlotte and some Atlanta? I don't know, maybe they have like, maybe it's cheaper or something to film there because these are mostly independent films, so I don't know, but it's just a very interesting thing. Now this is a movie series that I will stand by, that I love, I don't care, and I'm waiting for this next movie to come out. Gangster Daughters. I love the Gangster Daughters series. I don't care what no one says, because it's actually a very intriguing story, and I'm really anxious to see what happens next, because the ending of Gangster Daughters 3 really had me like, excuse me? What did I just watch? Again, the one thing I hated was like in the first movie, they showed the whole scene where, you know, their sister was, you know, R-worded, and then the brother was shot. The main character, I believe, was also R-worded. And again, I just did not want to see that. I feel like I did not need to see that to fully understand what they're trying to do with the movie. But Tubi, again, if you are watching this, Tubi, please release Gangster Daughters 4 very soon. Thank you. Also, another movie that I really loved was Brooklyn. And I believe that came out this year. What it is about this year, they just really been on their seen, of course, movies like in past years up to like 2022, but Brooklyn was actually a very good movie too. It's about a girl who, you know, had a hard life growing up, like a model a day, an escort at night, and then she began to be in a dangerous world, and she was basically just trying to find herself. And again, that was also a very good movie. The acting was actually pretty good, sound pretty good, quality again really good. And again, I just love how Tubi movies, you know, really try to have some deep concepts within them, especially the ones that are catered toward Black people, the Black cinema movies. I really do like how they try to have like a very good message at the end of the day, kind of like a warning to people in a sense, or just trying to get people to really understand the concept of a certain lifestyle. So I'll give them that. And then the movie Diamond Girls. Diamond Girls was actually really good. Like, I need a part 2 because it was actually very intriguing. It kind of was set up like Set It Off, where it's about like these 4 girls who are all dating like prominent drug dealers, and then like the main character, one of the girls, her husband ends up dying in the beginning of the movie while she's pregnant, and the whole movie is her just trying to warn the other girls that they should probably get out of this life, because each of the girls have like their own individual reasons as to why they stay with these men, even though that either results in them being in jail, their guy being in jail, or them ending up dead, or their man ending up dead. And at the end of the movie, everything pretty much falls apart, and the acting was actually really good in this, especially at the end when again everything began to fall apart. And there was another movie that I also really literally just watched called like Glitter. I'll find the poster, but that was also really good too. It's about these girls who became strippers, and then they ended up finding themselves immersed in this world. And I liked how they didn't show explicit R-word scenes. They kind of just made it known that we are seeing explicit, you know, R-word scene. And girl, at this point, I'm about to just list all the movies that I love on Tubi. And also another movie that I could not, like, it wasn't even in my history, like my continue watching tab. I can't even remember the name of it. I'm really gonna try hard to find it and insert it in the video if I find a movie. But it was about a girl, and if I don't end up finding it, someone in the comments, please tell me what the movie was. But it was about a girl who became like a really prominent like drug lord. Her man was like a really prominent drug lord, and she became like, you know, one of the big bosses. And then she ends up in jail, and the whole movie is just her telling her story as to how she ended up in jail. And then like at the end of it, I was not expecting the twist that I saw. I honestly wasn't, like, I didn't see it coming. So I actually really did enjoy that movie as well. And we got another one. Okay, this is my last one, I promise. But I just also saw a movie called Dangerously in Love. That was actually really good too. And the ending, I actually did not see coming. Like, if you see the ending, you'll be like, oh, that's actually pretty predictable. But it actually wasn't, to me at least. Like, I really did not see that coming. So Kudos to you, Tubi. But I wanted to make this short video because just being more of a frequent Tubi user, I wanted to just applaud them for really giving a voice to a lot of Black independent filmmakers and giving them a chance to show their art and giving them actually a pretty decent budget to show their art. And the way that they are creating these messages in their movies when it talks about sex trafficking or domestic abuse, and they also even have some feel good movies as well. Like, I just really love how they're trying to have a message at the end of the day, whether it's more of a warning or just trying to show people what a certain lifestyle can look like, because I do know that some movies are based on true stories or even like book series. If I'm correct, Gangster Daughters is like a book series that is based off of. And I know a lot of people love to make fun of it because sometimes the acting may not be great or the special effects, but Tubi really is, like, you can tell as the years is going on with these Black independent films, they really have been trying to put in a lot of effort to make sure that they do have quality. Now, because some of the storylines be flushed out a little bit better, especially where at the end it really does feel like it can go a little bit flat. But again, these are things that I feel like can be easily fixed, and I don't want it to overshadow just, I feel like, the good work that I see Tubi trying to do to give all these people just a big platform. Like, even the actors are probably going to pay really well, because if you notice in these movies, you do kind of see like the same actors sometimes. So I would assume that they're probably continuing to go back just because it's probably good money, good work, a good way to get their exposure out there. So I just honestly commend Tubi, and I commend all these independent Black filmmakers for putting their work out there. I personally enjoy it, and I would love to hear you guys' favorite Tubi movies in the comments, because I honestly want recommendations myself. And I was thinking of doing like Tubi Thursdays where I react to like a Tubi movie, or I just talk about a recent Tubi movie that I saw. So if you'll be interested in that, just let me know. And yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I would love to hear what you guys' top 5 Tubi movies are, any recommendations you may have. Remember to keep it respectful in the comments, and remember to always keep life cute, fab, and fun. And I will see you guys in the next video.